Whether you're trying to fish for the money or you're trying to fish for all the memory fragments to do any repairing, fishing in Black Desert is easier than before. Welcome back to the channel, all about life skilling. My name is Teddy for everyone that's new, and today I decided we're going to go down fishing and I'll show you gear progression, some spots on where to go fishing, and just anything that I can to help you get started with fishing, whether it's for the money or just for all of those relics. So without wasting any more time, let's just jump into it. All right, so we are out here in the land of the morning light, so we can get started with our Margoria fishing because it's a lot closer. But to get started with our fishing, we first have to understand what fishing is. Fishing is when you place bait on a hook and cast it in to catch a fish. Obviously, we know that. So let's take a look at fishing in general and what does leveling up fishing give. So with fishing, the higher level your fishing is, the higher chances of finding all of the pools of fish out there, the hotspots. There's a max of 12, so I think the cutoff is master to see all 12 hotspots out there in the Balanos Islands area. Fun little fact, if you guys are out there looking at the hotspots, you can tell which fish you are going to pull up by looking at the fish jumping out of the pools. They will reflect which fish you are going for, so try to look for the ones that you need. And just in case you are fishing on a hotspot, if the hotspot vanishes, you still have one more reel to pull in that fish before it returns back to the normal fish table. And the higher that you go with your fishing level means that you guys will be able to sort out which fish that you guys want to save, which ones you want to throw out, so on and so forth. At Master 1, you get to choose between sorting white, green, blue, and yellow, meaning you only collect any of the rare fish, like prize fish like the red grade ones, or any of the rare drops like the relics or the bottles. Now let's look at mastery. For fishing mastery increases the chances of us catching any of the ancient relics and any of the other rare drops. Not to mention, it increases the chances of catching the prize grade fish, our red grade fish. The higher that your mastery is, the higher the prize catch fish rate chance is. And when it comes to harpoon fishing, for everyone who has forgotten about harpoon fishing, it's an active form of fishing where you take a harpoon, get on a cog, and try your luck at trying to get any of the red grade fish. When it comes to mastery and harpooning, that will increase your chances of finding any of the red grade fish. You have to have at least Guru 1 to be able to start seeing any of the red grade fish. Mastery will only increase your odds of trying to catch them. This will cap out at 1200 for harpooning. In order to start fishing, guys, you have to have a body of water. As you can see, it will require you to hit space or whatever the action key is when it comes to fishing, and if you hold it down, you will use more energy. The higher energy you use, the more chances that you have of catching an extra fish. If you're using, say, the Balanos rod, Medea rod, Caliphion rod, you have a chance of catching 3, and if you guys are using the triple float rod, you have a chance of catching 1, 2, 4 fish at a time. As for fishing in general, in order to do any type of fishing, you can do it one of two ways. You can either A, have it AFK fish by letting the timer go and she will eventually pull it in and recast, or you can do normal active fishing, which will need you to hit the spacebar or whatever action key you guys are using and play a little mini game. You have to hit that bar past that white line or it'll fail. Do the direction combination there, and as you can see, there you go. We've caught 3 yellow grade fish. The fish out here in Margoria are valued 500 to 600k base value. We're not applying any distance and or trading bonuses. When just starting out, when you're fishing, each cast will use up 1 durability. The higher your level, the less chances you will have of using the durability for that fishing rod for that 1 cast. So if we take a look here, I'm at 21 on my fishing rod. Oh, hitting a perfect will automatically bypass that mini game, so you don't have to do it, but it does require timing. And as you can see here, my durability is still 21. So the higher your level, the higher chances of not using any of that durability you have, which will come in handy when using your triple float rod. Your auto fish time, it is capped at 65%. Be careful when you're fishing to make sure to check your durability. They no longer let you know when your rod is about to break and will still fish with the stock rod, applying no bonuses. As for harpooning, if you guys are trying to do harpooning, it can only be done on either a fishing boat or the cog. In order to get into your harpooning, same way that you did with your fishing, you will have to go into your basic stance and then go into your harpooning. Once you're in your harpooning, this will require you to hit the spacebar again. If you guys were looking at the BDO Lytics map or any fish map that you guys have in your possession, you can tell which fish table that you will be fishing from, and you can go accordingly. These do have red grade fish in most of the areas, so be sure to be checking your fish table. As long as you guys are on a cog, you can proc the whole minigame. You can tell because it will lock your screen and there's nothing you can do. It'll have your little fishing thing there, and this is not an AFK activity. You have to play the minigame in order to pull up the fish, or you will not pull it up. You will not do anything. Hitting the spacebar, you can see fish is floating around, and you have a time limit. With your time limit, you also have the damage that you have to do for the fish to reduce the speed for it swimming around. Your harpoon does have a maximum amount of charges that you can fire at it, with being 15. Once you guys have hit the fish enough, it will go ahead and catch, and you will pull up the item collection screen. You will have to wait for that meter to go ahead and reload in order for it to go turn white in order to shoot again. And a fun fact, the fish will try to swim towards the edge. If you put your mouse in front of it, you can stop it from trying to swim in that direction. Now, as for the harpoon fish do have their own little fish table, and they have their own values, their own origins, which are required for their titles too. Oh shit, we got it. Wow, that only took me like, what, 30 minutes of actual like harpooning? Where you catch the fish does not matter in terms of having the nodes connected, but it will count for when you are trying to trade it into the normal trade manager. Imperial does not count the distance, so the higher you're trading, the more money you will get back on your fishing too. You can do your fishing on your seasoned character, or you can go out there on a lower leveled tune so people will not murder you. A great way to repair any of your fishing rods and your lures without actually leaving the area that you're in is to be on an alt. You have the ability to repair everything without leaving that area. So let's go ahead and repair that to give you guys an idea. And we can go log back into the other character. Let's talk about gear progression, because I know that's a thing that a lot of people seem to get a little confused on. Starting out, you can get a quest over there in Velia to get a starter little fishing chest. It's going to be a little beginner thing. I think it has like +1 fishing, but it's going to be the starter clothes. You can get them from Crio over here by doing a quest. Not only do you earn a professional fishing clothes for leveling up your fishing, these can also be bought from any luxury vendor in any major city. These will be the next step up from using the simple little fishing clothes that you can get from the Crio quest before having to move on to the silver embroidered. The silver embroidered is going to be the next best thing for your fishing, especially if you guys have not leveled up to Guru. You can craft up a silver embroidered from any costume mill in any town, then try to enhance them up to a +3. So getting up to at least a +3 will be the sweet point until you want to go for a +4 or a +5. These can be enhanced and or bought off the central market too if you guys just want to speed up the process. After you guys have hit Guru, or you guys are just trying to go for your mastery, then we can look at your Logia. Logia is going to be your cheapest and easiest accessory and clothing to get for your fishing and or just any type of life skilling. Those can be bought from Zarya over there in Velia, or can be bought from Camilla Logia over there in Logia Farm. If you guys want, you guys can try to tap it up yourself, with Logia being easier, and it can now be croned, making it even easier and cheaper to do if you guys are lucky enough to get the tap, or these can be bought off the central market. If enhancing is not your thing to do, don't worry, someone will go ahead and do it for you and sell it. Taking a look at Crio. Crio is your next best in slot. It'll be a little bit more mastery. Obviously, the higher tier will be higher than the lower tier of the lower bracket. And then you got Manus. The higher your grade goes, the more mastery that you guys get, and the more experience that you guys will be getting for your life experience. But it will cost more cron stones. It has a higher chance of not tapping. Mastery clothes and the accessories have a fixed enhancing rate. And also, the odds are so low, don't do it. Please don't do it. Just buy it off the central market. They're cheap. Set of clothes being 4.9 bill and a pen being around like 54 billion. So it's a lot cheaper to do. And obviously, with your accessories, you want to go with your Logia, your blue grade if you guys are trying to go with that one. And then up to the Tet Manos will be your end game. If you guys are trying to go higher with your mastery, I suggest going with a full set of Pen Garanoa accessories. It will be more mastery than your Tet Manos, but it won't have as much experience as the Tet Manos. So keep that in mind. If you guys are not trying to go for your Pen Manos, that is an idea. There are two costumes in Black Desert that we are privy to. The Splatfisher costume from the Pearl Shop, which I do not recommend. Costume can be found right here in the apparel tab in your costume, right here. This will cost you 2,200 pearls, but will only increase your fishing by 1. This is not worth the money. Don't do it. Your better alternative is to take the fishing clothes that you can buy from any luxury vendor in any main town, applying an equipment tailoring coupon. You can get one for doing your family guru quest or the family trading quest, or it can be bought from the Pearl Shop, but you apply the equipment tailoring coupon to the luxury vendor clothes and you can change it from the normal gear to a costume. This will reflect whichever you choose. With mine, I chose the professional fisher clothes, which will give me plus 10% fishing experience and plus 1 to my fishing. So it gives me just a little bit more than the Splat Fisher if you don't count in the swim speed and the stamina and all that, because I'm on a boat, I'm going to be fishing, you know? All right, now let's take a look at the rods. The rods can be a little bit confusing with what they do and how you would go ahead and utilize them. Starting off, we have your 4 gears rod that can be obtained from doing the season progression pass. That will give you plus 2 on your fishing and can be repaired but can't be enhanced. So that'll be your first starter rod. Next will be, say, the Balanos fishing rod. With how easy it is to get, there is a quest over there in Crio to get you introduced with the whole tool workshop to get you started with crafting up your fishing rods. But your AFK fishing rod will be the best one to go for starting out, with giving you minus 25% on your auto fishing time at plus 10. And they're only 135 mil over here on NA. They're easy to enhance if you guys are looking to do that, but I suggest going ahead and buying them. Another rod that you guys can go out and get, which is a little bit more advanced, is going to be the Medea rod. This rod here can be made from the tool workshop too, or can be bought off the central market at any enhancement level. At plus 10, this will give you a plus 5% chance of catching those yellow grade fish. This means if you guys are out there in, say, Margoria, instead of catching a lot of the blues and the green grade fish like we normally do, this will increase the chances of getting those yellow grade, and hopefully while you're trying to go for those yellow grade, you can get lucky enough to get those red grade, which will increase the money that you can make if you guys are looking to do that. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but if you guys are looking for the rainbow fish, the mystical fish that can be found in certain locations, which I will touch on all of the locations later on once we start going on like different areas to fish, so don't worry. But if you guys are looking for those fish or just trying to get the blue grade fish for any of the titles, the Caliphion rod will help you catch any of those blue grade fish. Now, like I said, the mythic fish should be on the blue grade table according to BDO-lytics on their fish map. I will also have a link down in the description, and I will be highlighting that later on to get you guys a little bit familiar with the fish map and all. But this will help you catch all of those blue grade fish for the titles, and or hopefully, if what they say is true, the Caliphion rod will help you also try to catch that rainbow fish for that nice little special rainbow title that only one person in the world has. The next rod on the list is going to be the Etheria rod. The Etheria rod, the only special thing that comes with this is the increased durability. This can be made from the tool workshop or can be bought off the central market, just like with any of the other rods. At plus 10, this will give us 150 durability. This rod here is great for if you guys are doing the hotspot fishing, because you don't really need the rare fish catch chance or the big fish catch chance. You're basically just going for that said chance of getting that fish that you're going for in that hotspot, and or the rainbow fish, because one does spawn in the hotspot too. So this will give you guys a longer chance of going out and doing any of your hotspot fishing without having to come back and repair so soon, or switching off to a different alt to go ahead and repair so you can go and fish again. Next rod on the list is going to be the triple float rod. The triple float float rod, in my opinion, is one of the best rods if you guys are doing active fishing, and only if you guys are doing active fishing. This rod can only be obtained by an Abilene quest over there in Velia. Once you guys do that little weekly quest, which can only be done once a week, it will give you 3 triple float rods. This rod has a chance of increasing how many fish that you can get up to 3 to 4 fish each cast, depending on if you get lucky enough to proc it. But this rod will increase how much money you can make out there in Margoria, or if you guys are going for the tokens out there in Waves Rest and Papa Crane for your Kroglo donkey gear, that will increase your odds of getting any of the tokens with having the 2 extra fish that you can pull up, and or up to 4. I have had that. Not counting any event drops, we are strictly talking about how many fish that you can get during one reel in. Now let's talk about the lures. The lures are pretty self-explanatory, with the maple float being able to increase the yellow grade fish that you catch, and the ash tree float being able to increase how many blue grade fish that you catch. These both can be made in the tool workshop and can be bought in the central market. These are pretty self-explanatory. All of the fishing rods can be repaired. They can be weapon branded to increase the chances of the durability not dropping and the repair cost. And each rod will require you to be a certain level to go ahead and equip them, with the Balanos and the Etheria rod having the lowest requirements, the Medea rod having Artisan 1 being required, Calpheon being Professional 1, the Maple Float rod being Artisan 1, and lastly, the Ash Tree Float being Professional 1. The Triple Float rod also has a requirement of Guild 5 fishings, so make sure you guys have the fishing level before you guys try to equip it, or you won't be able to. In order to harpoon, you must have at least Professional 5 and Professional 1 to Professional 5, depending on which harpoon you're using. The green grade has a less durability and a lesser requirement to use, but the blue grade does have more durability and will require you to be Professional 5, but this allows you to do active harpoon fishing. In order to do your harpoon fishing, you have to be on a cog or a fishing boat. You can't use anything higher, so if you guys have the sailboat or the frigate, you guys are SOL until they eventually patch that in, if they ever. These can be made using the tool workshop over there in Ilia Island. The green grade and the blue grade can be made from the tool workshop, or these can be bought from the central market too, if you guys just don't want to sit there and have the workers doing it passively throughout the week. Next, let's talk about the fish tank. If you guys remember and or don't remember, out here in the Sea Palace, there is a 4 quest story arc thing over there that you can accept to get little tokens to turn in for a fish tank that will allow you to store your fish for longer periods of time while you're out there fishing. This thing is called the Shim Cheong's Miraculous Fish Tank. After you guys do that 4-part quest over there in the Sea Palace, you do get a 50 slot fish tank, which will extend the lifespan of your fish for 5 times, 2 times, up to 12 times, depending on the region. This thing is great for being able to be stored on any alt that you guys want. As long as there's no fish in there, you can store it in a storage, move it with a maid, do whatever you guys need. And also, if you guys are out there fishing, you can teleport in the well using your fish tank full of fish. So if you guys are out here in Margoria, you can teleport all the way out to Valencia and do your trading like that without having to sail and ride and all that. The green grade Crio's fishing chair can be made from using the carpentry workshop. This will give 100 fishing mastery, and the blue grade fishing chair can only be exchanged using 5 broken bottles at Crio and will give 100 fishing mastery and decrease your auto fishing time by 5%. Crio's fishing chair can be listed on the central market and sold, whereas the blue cannot. Both the green grade and the blue grade chairs cannot be repaired, so once the durability is gone, they will have to be thrown out. Now, let's talk about the artifacts. Starting out, you guys have the generic life experience artifact, which will only give you plus 3% life experience, and then you have the life mastery, which will give you plus 7. These can be obtained by doing any type of life scaling, and then you have the next ones, the more specialized fishing ones. The fishing experience artifacts will give you plus 5% experience, where the fishing mastery will give you plus 10 mastery on your fishing. These are better, giving more than obviously the generic ones, and can only be found when turning in any of the blue or yellow grade fish to the Imperial Fish Delivery. If you guys are not getting it quick tip, make sure you guys save the special delivery quests that pop if it's a Fluorite Stone or any of the artifacts that you are not wanting. They cannot give you the duplicate quest, so they will cycle through another quest to give you the artifact, and hopefully you get the right one that you need. This works out for any of the delivery quests for cooking, alchemy, horse, and your fishing. You know, anything that has that Imperial delivery. So fun fact. Now let's look at the Lightstone combinations that we can get. Starting off with the fishing combinations, we have Best Stance. This will give us 5% fishing experience and will require 3 Fluorite Stones. Next is Big Catch, which will give us plus 8% fishing experience and will require 4 Fluorite Stones. Lastly, we have Seasoned Fisher, which will give us plus 16% fishing experience. It will require 3 Fluorite Lightstones and 1 Iridescent Lightstone. Now, moving on to the Mastery, we have Reflexes. This will give us Fishing Mastery plus 8 and will require 3 Fluorite Patience. Next, we have Dancing Fish, which will give us plus 15 Fishing Mastery and will require 4 Fluorite Patience. And the last Mastery Lightstone combination for fishing is Fisher's Secret, which will give us plus 30 Fishing Mastery. This will require 3 Fluorite Patience and 1 Iridescent Lightstone. Now we can start moving on to a more specified Lightstone combination. The first of these combinations is going to be Nibbles. This will reduce auto fishing time by negative 15%, plus 10% fishing experience, give us plus 20 fishing mastery, and lastly, 1 on our fishing level. This will require 1 Fluorite Bite, Patience, 1 Wind Lightstone Lung, and lastly, the Iridescent Lightstone. For those looking to catch more blue grade fish or for those titles, the whaling combination is going to be the better option. This will give us plus 6% big fish catch chance, plus 10% fishing experience, plus 20 fishing mastery, and lastly, plus 1 to fishing. This will require 1 Fluorite Bite, 1 Fluorite Patience, 1 Wind Lightstone Feather, and lastly, the Iridescent Lightstone. Now, when it comes to active fishing or trying to find more of those yellow grade fish, my personal favorite to go out and harpoon is going to be the Sharp-Eyed Seagull. This will increase our rare fish catch chance by 5%, give us fishing experience plus 10%, plus 20 fishing mastery, and lastly, the same, plus 1 on our fishing. This will require Fluorite Bite, Fluorite Patience, Wind Lightstone Fortune, and lastly, the Iridescent Lightstone. The last combination, if you guys are trying to power level all the way up to Guru and you're not worried about your mastery, is going to be the Chosen Focus Fishing. This will decrease your fishing mastery by 500, but it will increase your fishing experience by 35%. This will require 2 Fluorite Bites, 1 Wind Lightstone Mind, and lastly, the Iridescent Lightstone. Next, we can look at our crystal presets. Starting out, we do have our normal experience preset. This will give us plus 80% life experience for a full preset. The life crystals can either be bought off the central market or made using the Forest Light Crystal found over in the sniper hunting area over in the Land of the Morning Light. Workers can also be used to mine them over in the Dokubi Forest, or you can also find them while fishing. Sand coins can also be used to exchange for the Forest Crystal, just to be used to craft into the Life Crystal or the Vital Crystal if you guys are looking for mastery. Which, speaking of mastery, if you guys are trying to catch more of the yellow grade fish, this preset is going to be the one for you. Having a full preset of your life skill mastery will increase the chances of catching any of those prize grade fish, so if you guys choose to use all of them, it will increase it up at least 120 life skill mastery. Lastly, we can talk about weight. If you guys are still struggling with weight when you're fishing, using a lot of the Cobalinus and Forset Gervish will increase your weight limit. The goal is to increase as much weight as you possibly can. All the other stats really don't matter when it comes to fishing. These are just a couple ideas. When it comes to fishing, you should play around with the crystals to see which ones work out best for you. These are only mine, and these work out for what I need them for. For your Alchemy Stones, I wouldn't bother with Alchemy Stones when it comes to fishing other than using your Khan's Heart, and when I mean use, I mean only equip it. This stone will give you a passive plus 25 life skill mastery, and with how long it takes you to do any type of fishing, albeit active or just AFK fishing, it's not worth popping the actual alchemy stone, but having that passive will help you hit another bracket if that's something that you guys are needing to do. Will cost you 3.9 billion over here on NA minimum, or at least 3 to 4 billion over here on NA, or can be made using the Khan's Heart. Next, we have our Caphir's Journal of Nature, which can be obtained by completing your adventure log, the Caphir Journal. The video on that, it will be down in the description below if you guys need that. That will give you plus 10% life experience. It is completely worth it. If you guys don't want that one, you can exchange it for either the contribution or the combat experience. Now, as for pets, our pets, we only have like one real winner here. Well, we got two, but we got one real winner that shines, being your AFK fishing pets. This will be great for any fishing activity, even if it's your active fishing. You can still use it with having the plus 1% life experience whenever you tier up, with a max of +5 if you guys choose to make it into a captain like I did with my hedgehog. These cannot be stacked up, meaning you can only benefit from having one. The max rate of your auto fishing time is 65%, so if you guys have that auto fishing rate, you won't even have to use your pet, but I like to keep my pet out anyway so I don't have to do so much. This comes in handy when you guys are trying to do any type of AFK fishing while trying to use your Medea rod and or the Marvelous Balic lunchbox to increase your AFK while still increasing any of your rare fish catch chance rate. The next pet to look at is going to be the weight pet. The weight pet is great for those that are needing more weight. Obviously, if you guys are struggling with that, these pets can be bought from the central market or can be obtained from the pearl shop. I'm not exactly sure if they can really be bought from the central market, but all the bigger content creators are telling me you can. Finally, we have any of the generic life pets, as long as they have the plus 5% fishing experience. It's a bonus, but they can still be used having, like I said before, that plus 1% life experience with a max of, if you guys are using a captain, and all of your life pets will give you plus 21% on your life experience. And if you get lucky, the fishing experience skill will stack on with each and every pet that you have. As you can see here, I have plus 10% fishing experience. Next, we have the fairy. The fairy is great for two things: the continuous care, which will allow you to automatically use up to however many items your current tier will allow you to use. The miraculous cheer skill is another good one, with it being able to use any of the potions here that you can automatically use. If you guys are out there doing your AFK fishing, it stands out mainly for being able to pop any of your Balic lunch boxes or your buffs, if that's what you guys are trying to do. I don't recommend popping a lot of buffs when you're doing your AFK fishing, because it's not really going to benefit you for having to be out there for so long. But if you guys are out there doing, say, your triple float rod, your harpoon fishing and all that, and you can't be bothered, having that skill on your fairy will help out immensely. Next, we can talk about the boats. Fishing can be done in several places. It can be done in any pool of water. It can be done on any type of river. If you guys are trying to go do any of the Balanos Island fishing, any Margoria fishing, or anything of the such, a boat is going to be required. The first little fishing boat that you guys will probably experience is going to be your fishing boat. This is going to be the slowest, but will allow you to do your active fishing, AFK fishing, and or your harpooning out there in the Balanos Islands or Margoria if you guys really wanted to risk it for the biscuit. Next is going to be the cog, which I like to keep a little bit higher on the list because I mainly go harpoon fishing, but this will have the 140% speed, the breezy sail. If you guys have the durability remaining on your ship, you can still use your cog with no durability. So if anyone tells you that you can't, go ahead and show them this video and let them know, yes, you can. And if you hold down the shift while with no durability, no, you may not have the breezy sail, but you will go faster as a demonstration. Here is me sailing with no shift on, and here is applying the shift. So if you guys don't have the loyalty to buy it, or you don't have the workshop to go out and craft it up yourself, and you're afraid that the durability won't let you sail around with your cog, yes, you still can. Once you guys know the whole durability and everything, that shouldn't be an issue. The cog will be the fastest one and will let you do your harpoon fishing. If you guys are only doing your fishing, then I suggest going and using your frigate or the caravel, whichever one you guys want to use. But if you guys are trying to do your harpoon fishing, then the cog is going to be your best one to go for. Now, the cog cannot be repaired, so the durability, once it hit low, you cannot use the breezy sail skill anymore. But they can be either crafted in any ship workshop after you obtain the license from Philosophy over there in Port Euphoria. These can be bought using your loyalty over here in the loyalty shop for 1,000 loyalty, and then can be registered in any wharf manager. Let's take a look at our buffs. Now, when it comes to fishing, there's a couple buffs out here that I guess will help out if you guys are trying to power level the guru and all that. They might help you out. First is going to be subs being the value pack, the comma blessing, and your secret book of the old moon. These will give you more experience, allow you to have more wharf slots if you guys need more boats, or covering more energy back, more inventory slots. It's a great little bonus for your life skilling if you guys are struggling with that. But these will be able to be bought from either the Pearl Shop, 1 day in loyalty, or can be given out during certain events. So be sure to check what ongoing events are out to see if you guys will be getting them. Next, we have our Elton sandwiches. Our Elton sandwiches are great if you guys are first starting out, you guys don't have the cooking and or the money to go out and buy it. These will give you -7% auto fishing time if you guys are out there AFK fishing. The higher the grade, the more percent that it will reduce for your AFK fishing. These are required to make your Balak lunchboxes. The Balak lunchboxes will give higher auto fishing and or just fishing bonuses in general, with our normal Balak lunchbox giving us a +10% fishing experience, -7% auto fishing time, and +2 on our fishing speed. These can be made using cooking and or bought from the central market, but if you guys are lucky enough to do any of your dailies out there in the Mountain of Eternal Winter region, you can exchange your Oxider crystals for the oak pills. The oak pills can be combined with your Balak lunchboxes to make the Marvelous Balak lunchbox. It will require 3 meals for the Elton Balak Special Elton meal and the Mesama chicken soup, and 1 of the oak pills, but that's how you go ahead and do that, or they can be bought in the central market for usually 25 to 30 mil each. See, makes a Marvelous Balak. And if you take a look at the Marvelous Balak, this is going to be a great meal if you guys are trying to do your AFK fishing, but you guys don't want to use your Balak or your Balanos rod, or if you guys don't have the pet, the AFK Lightstone combination. This will give you +25% fishing experience and will reduce your auto fishing time by 10% while giving you fishing speed +3. It's a great meal to use if you guys, like I said, are trying to go for your prize and or your yellow grade fish. But in terms of using AFK, I would avoid it. Don't bother. It can be pretty expensive trying to get these and or make these, so just stick to the old method. This will help out with, say, more fishing experience when harpooning, but harpooning doesn't benefit from anything when it comes to buffs. I just pop a seafood crons meal when it comes to the harpooning and call it a day if you guys are not wanting to spend the money, which will lead us into the next food being the seafood crons meal. If you guys do not want to do any of the Balaks or the Elton sandwiches, you guys do have the option of using the seafood crons meal, which will give you +2 fishing, weight limit +100, and +25 mastery on all of your life skills. So that is a great alternative to not wanting to pop that sandwich. Next, we have the Turning Gate buff. The Turning Gate buff will give us +10% life experience, which is a plus. The Turning Gate buff can be popped over there if you guys are on mainland. Now, if you guys are trying to get your 1200 mastery for your harpooning and or trying to increase your mastery to increase your chances of getting any of your prized grade fish, your red grade fish, using your Secret Book of Florin and the Gia Van Grolen support scroll will increase your life skill mastery up by 100 and give you +20% on your life skill experience. The Secret Book of Florin can be obtained by doing Liana's Weekly and getting the 3 Florals petals and combining it with either Liana's Catalyst or or Ludwig's catalyst that can be bought from the vendor out there. As for the Give and Golden Scroll, this can only be obtained for certain events and for graduating on the season. So if you guys are looking for that, I'd hold on to them and stock them up for when you really need them. I personally would not bother with fishing. They can be best used elsewhere. Next, we have our Vidir draft. Both the normal and the magical Vidir draft will increase our fishing +3, weight limit +200, and give us plus 20% life experience. But again, it's not worth using this unless you guys are trying to absolutely power level your fishing, have the money to spend, and or self-craft these motherfuckers, because it is way too expensive, especially when it comes to fishing. Next, we have the Spirit Perfume Elixir, which again, it's way too expensive, but it will give you plus 10% on your life skill experience. They're way, like I said, way too expensive. Moving on, we have the Lore's Warm Black Tea, which will give us plus 30% life experience and plus 100 on our weight limit, which if you guys are struggling with that, that is a great item. They do give these out a lot for events and or during the Black Spirit Adventure. Keep an eye out for them or hold off on using them until you go and do a really long session. Next, we have the Extra Life Scroll. This will give us plus 50% life experience and will not be allowed to be used with the matching Book of Life, which will give us the same plus 50% life experience. This buff can only be obtained rarely during certain events, so if you have some, and hold on to them. There is one more buff that can be acquired here over in Velia Beach for 20 energy. This will increase your fishing by 1 and your luck +1. Lastly, we have the buff that we get for logging in, the Mercenary Scroll of Life. This will give us plus 50 for the one that we get, or if you combine 3, will give us plus 150% life experience for an hour. This will stack with everything here and will help out power leveling you guys if you guys have not hit Guru yet, or Guru 50, I guess, if that's what you guys are really trying to go for. Guild buffs. Guild buffs are really important. If you guys are in a guild and your guild is pretty high level, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of guilds are these days, but depending on how high your guild is and leveled, you got Guru's Touch here, which will give plus 40% life skill experience, which is great for power leveling. Angler's Wisdom, which will increase your fishing experience plus 5% for 2 hours. These are great skills if you guys are in a guild. If you guys are not, don't worry. I mean, we all have to start from somewhere, but I advise trying to find a guild as soon as possible just to capitalize on whenever they go ahead and pop these buffs. Normally, my guild will pop these buffs throughout the day, so I don't have to worry about any of my little experience that I can get. Before you guys even go out and start fishing, let's talk about some areas that you guys can go and start fishing at. If you guys are having trouble trying to figure out where you guys want to fish because you know, there's a whole entire open world out here, there's a nice little resource that you guys can use. BDolytics has a little fish map that is really great and handy for you guys going out there and doing any of your fishing. If you guys go over to BDolytics, sort of by your region, they have a nice little fish map that you can use. If you guys take a look at the fish map, this has all of the information that you guys need to figure out all of the fish that can be found. By clicking on any area, you can see the fish region, the general drops, meaning just our normal little green grade, our somewhat rare drops. Then we got our blue grade drops that we can get using our Calafion rod, and then our rare grade fish that we can get using the Medea rod. Not to mention we have all of the rare treasures that we can find, and also a very special yellow grade fish, which is counted as a treasure. Our prize grade fish, meaning the red grade, like the white groper here, for example, or the ancient relics. Harpooning has its own table too that you guys can check. Click on the area and see if like there's a harpooning table. As you guys can see, if you guys scroll down, there is other little fish tables here. This is what I base everything off of when I'm out there fishing. This also has the hot spots if you guys are trying to find any of the hot spots out there for doing your triple float rod quest. You can also see any of the inland fish that you can get for each region by kicking the bodies of water. But that's how you would go around the Black Desert and try to find any type of like fish table that you guys are trying to find if you guys are looking for any type of money. Locations. Location. When it comes to fishing, that is going to be key. Most of you guys will start out doing any type of town fishing out here in the event areas like the beach in Velia, for example, or Altanova, which doesn't really have a lot of people people, but still gives you the event drops like the plump coelacanth or the event items. That can be done AFK because it's in a safe zone. But another area that is a nice spot to go chill at is going to be Tooth Fairy Cabin. Tooth Fairy Cabin here has a high chance of getting your relics or the bottles. Depending on the events and everything ongoing, it's not going to be really fished at. So if you get lucky, it'll be abundant and you can just fish over there for your relics while still being in a safe zone. If you guys are looking for trying to make money, the best place to make money is to come over here. Once you hit this area here, as you can see, sailing out all the way over here will introduce you to the Raw Sea. The Raw Sea kind of has the same fish table as Lower Margoria, Middle Margoria, or the Top Margoria, but does not provide any of the mystic fish or mythical fish, whatever they want to be called, and the distance bonus. If you guys are looking for more money or trying to get more relics other than going out to the Raw Sea, coming out here to Margoria has a higher chance of getting more money with, say, the football fish or any of your prize grade fish that you can find out here. Not to mention, each area in Margoria, top, middle, and bottom, has their own different rainbow fish. All three of those are needed to catch your 5 rainbow fish. Over here in Margoria, it's pretty easy. If you guys are looking for the max distance will be right over here. If you guys sail out from Land of the Morning Light, it's a lot closer than going to Afaria. If you guys sail out just about right here, it will activate the Jersey, and if you go out just a little bit more, you will activate Margoria without antagonizing anything and still counting as the top Margoria table, allowing for you to go ahead and jump into the well after you get done without having to pop any map, because it will send you to Aqua's Eye, sail all the way back, jump into your well, and go all the way to Valencia, trade it in. Doing 8 hours of AFK fishing out in Margoria would normally make me 400 to 450 mil if I'm not lucky with getting any of the red grade fish. You'll notice you're there when your mini map will go ahead and fade, and or you start seeing the ships and sea monsters out there in the distance. A great way to go ahead and reset the aggro on the sea monsters is to switch channels so that they go ahead and respawn. Hopefully you don't spawn into an area that has another sea monster. This comes in handy when you guys are trying to set up your area over there in the ghost whale spot, but there is a monster that is chasing you and you don't want to leave that little square. And as you can see, everything has reset and there is nothing here anymore. And that's how you go ahead and reset it. If you guys are trying to do your fishing out here in Margoria, it is advised to at least have your compass. The yellow grade will do, or the blue grade, as long as you guys can be able to tell where you are out here in Margoria. As you guys can see, sailing out to over here, I'm already in Margoria and I don't have to worry about the longer distance trying to get from here all the way to there. Like I was telling you guys for harpooning, if you guys are trying to get your ghost whale can only be found in a small little box right about here. I suggest going ahead and trying to match up your map to the BDolytics map to make sure they match up. Once you guys do, you can save a snapshot anywhere in the world, meaning if you guys wanted to, you can save a snapshot to Margoria and have it automatically set it there. Or you can right click it and it'll automatically show the navigation on where. It will require you to have your compass just to be able to tell the area, and not only does it have your ghost whale for your harpooning, but it also has other red grade fish there if you guys are trying to do normal fishing. Like I said, just make sure you guys are not pulling aggro from any of the sea monsters and it should be great. Next. If you guys are trying to get your red grade fish over there in Velia, a notable area is going to be right here in Hakaven. The fish map will tell you the exact location, but it has a 30% chance of catching the yellow corvina and the blue bat star. The same area can be found right here. And lastly, another area can be found right over here. So if you guys really enjoy those fish, those are pretty good areas to go and catch them at. I'm not sure how many of you guys even are aware of the mystical fish over here, the rainbow fish that can be found in 5 different locations around Black Desert. For everyone that is thinking that the locations are gate kept and no one knows the exact locations and all of that, no. We know all of the locations and I'm going to show you guys where to get them. The first one that you guys will probably most most likely find can be found out here fishing in the Velia Beach. You have a small percent chance of catching the first mystical fish over here. A little cheat that you can do is to fish over here at the coastal cave right in this little nook. You will still get the same loot table as the Velia coast, but you won't have to deal with the over exhausted fishing. The next fish that you can find can be found, which is going to be the hardest fish, the hotspot fish. The hotspot fish can only be found while out there doing your hotspot. You have a small percent chance of pulling up that rainbow fish instead of whichever fish that you're looking for. So good luck out there doing your active hotspot fishing. The next fish that can be found is going to be found over here right after you get out of the raw sea into the lower Margoria fish table. This will have fish number 3. Next is going to be the middle fishing table. Margoria Middle will have your 4th fish. Lastly, Margoria North, the top end of Margoria, will have the last fish that you need. Those are all 5 locations to get any of your rainbow fish. They will have a little hint on how you found them in the description below. If you check the tooltip, it will tell you, like this one was caught from the hotspot. The last line, it looks like it has been pecked by birds. That one will let you know that's from the hotspot. If it says it smells like the distant ocean, you caught it from Velia Beach. I don't know what the other 3 are, like the description of the other 3 are, but that's how to tell which one you caught. So if you're confused on if you already got one or if you're gonna get a dupler or not, that's how to tell. Now let's talk about some of the things that we can get while out here fishing and why we're gonna be out here fishing, or why you'd be out fishing anywhere. When it comes to fishing, you're mainly going to be going for the blue grade, green grade, or yellow grade for the trade experience or the fishing experience. 2, you'd be going for the silver. That can be obtained from turning in a lot of the yellow grade, doing the blue grade or yellow grade for the imperial delivery, for the seal. You can do the normal trading for the distance, trying to make money. Another reason would be, like for me, trying to get the rainbow fish to get that one rainbow title that only one player in all of Black Desert has ever gotten. If you guys need an idea of the player's name and all that, that NPC can be found over there in Velia Beach. Or you guys are trying to go for the relics. The relics are a great way to go and get all of the memory fragments that you guys need to do any repairing without having to touch the central market. It will take a little bit longer, but it's a great way to do that. Now, another thing that you guys will be getting out here, or if you guys have noticed that you guys have started getting the discarded glass bottles or the silver keys, these can be turned in for money, experience, and or other items to help you out with fishing. If you take a look at the discarded glass bottle, you can exchange these for the blue grade fishing chair. That will increase your mastery and reduce your AFK fishing time. You can exchange these for 15 of the silver keys, the breezy conch seaweed, or the contribution experience and your fishing experience. When you do the Imperial delivery, you will get your Imperial Seal. Your Imperial Seal has some pretty good rewards with being able to get your Manos fishing clothes, the Black Essence Karme Addis, and or your gold key. The one I find more valuable here is going to be your golden key, with being able to either open up any of your buried traces when you're out there gathering, or they can be sold on the central market when the prices start to actually rise on the golden keys. If you guys have a lot of your silver keys, those can be exchanged over at Marco for 100 keys for 1 gold key. That's a great way of getting a little bit of extra income if you guys are looking for that. These keys can be used for a lot of the treasure chests around the world, like say Aquala's Eye, for example, or the ones that you can find out there in the mob grinding areas. A couple of reasons why anyone would want to come out here to do any type of fishing, actively AFK, or doing the harpoon is going to be with the knowledge that we can get. The knowledge will unlock more energy, and come on, we all like having to go for more of the little question marks that we don't have, trying to hunt them down. I mean, it's like a Pokedex. Fill out the whole prize. I mean, not a lot of people have all the prized fish in the game caught, so it's a nice little incentive to go out there to do. And like I mentioned earlier, if you guys are trying to go for the knowledge and everything, this will unlock more titles. Your titles will give you more bonuses the more titles that you have, which fishing is a huge part of it. The more more fishing titles that you have from catching the fish, the more that is counted towards it. And there you go. You have all of the title effects and your max title effects that you can have after getting the 2000 titles. But it will tell you how many to acquire, what it will give, blah, blah, blah. To get into here, you can hit the title option and it will give you all the options. Now, one of the fun things to do when I'm out here fishing is to check your fish journal or your fish guide. Your fish guide can be found by opening up your life tab and clicking on your fish guide. In here, you can find how many fish you've caught, of what type, the location. Normally, it should have the location, but that's never worked since it came out in, 2016 or whatever it was. It'll have the rarity of the fish that you're able to catch, the largest size, the capture amount, and a leaderboard on who has the highest fish caught and what ranking they are. This is a fun little thing to do if you guys are out there trying to catch your really, really rare fish. I like to come out here and try to catch the biggest rare fish that I can, just to be able to say I can. But I've caught 7 of the ghost whale, largest size 180. Progress, I have 88% of my fish guide done, meaning once I do that, I just have to work on getting my ranking up. But those are a couple little fun things to do when you're out here fishing and you're just tired of looking at the waves and waiting for your character to actually start fishing. I hope this helps you guys with your fishing. I hope this helps you guys figure out if you guys want to go out there to Margoria, Tooth Fairy, if AFK fishing is right for you, and even with your gear progression, harpoon fishing, all of the above. Let me know if there's anything that I'm missing, if there's a topic that you guys want to see more, and if you guys want to see more Black Desert content, be sure to subscribe, turn on all those notifications if you guys are watching me over there on YouTube. Huge shout out to all of my channel members. I could not do this without you guys. You guys keep things interesting, keep it entertaining, and everyone else here that has came in, you guys are fucking amazing too. Don't think I'm counting you guys out. And with all of that out of the way, everyone, I will see you guys in the next one. Keep gathering out there, everyone.